Something to help me. Raiders have the Empire spooked. This could get pretty ugly, BD. Visibility's pretty bad. Gotta push through. Energy conduit. You don't have anything for review?
Is that an Imperial shuttle? I don't know why they were flying in such poor conditions. Wanna check it out? Force is with me. Ready to go. Don't think I can call the lift from here. Must have been driving here once. Now it's a ghost town. Keep your sensors running, BD. I don't trust this place. Something was off.
I need a stim, buddy.
Nice job. Hey, look at this. Shuttle crash part. Wonder if anyone survived. Security, huh? I wonder who's trying to keep things hidden. Seems we
gotta
gotta
climb the rest of the way.
Safer than going
on foot.
All right,
let's
go. Force to secure a shuttle. Must be something inside. kind of electro dart? Next time, maybe run a scan before you start firing. I need to clear my mind. All set.
All set. This time.
More prior right.
Something's
up there.
You know, just for the look. Good job.
Good job. On you, BD. All right. That did it. Launch it. Your logic is sound. Just her aim.
stop here.
That's
a lot of firepower.
Let's take the high ground.
Are we expecting an attack? Keep your cool, Trooper. Is it the Ravers? That's right. We have reports of movement on the moon and from their base. If those Raiders come try anything, we'll blast them in the gut.
Yeah? Let's see.
This is an inspection. You have orders to let me pass.
This is an inspection. I have orders to let you pass. Apologies for detaining you, sir. I'm sure you'll find everything up to code.
Let's hope so. Weak minds don't stop them from conquering the galaxy. Bombers. They could level the outpost with ease. Hey, BD1. Won't be locked for long.
Okay.
I don't know if this garrison could hold against a raider attack. I know. Who would you want to win? The Rancor or the Gunguard? Okay. This is high. Long way down.
Come
So far.
Ready to
go.
Boat. We're heading to the observatory.
Already on my way.
What's that?
Leonardo da Vinci was inspired by an extraterrestrial intelligence, that its paintings are embedded with secret knowledge and contain codes which, when deciphered, will provide the keys to unlocking the universe.
I think Da Vinci is trying to tell us that there is a higher intelligence that operates in our world. Ladies and gentlemen, we move to the Leonardo da Vinci, the Salvator Mundi, the masterpiece by Leonardo Savior, previously the collection of the Three Kings of England.
New York City, November 15th, 2017.
$370 million, back to France last time, at $370 million. $400 million.
At a Christie's auction at Rockefeller Center, Leonardo da Vinci's newly authenticated painting, Salvator Mundi, sells for a record-breaking $400 million. So, the buyer is a Saudi prince, representing the new Louvre Museum in Abu Dhabi. But why was a member of the Saudi royal family, or anyone, so willing to pay such an incredible price for a work of art?
Leonardo da Vinci has captured the fascination of so many people who really believe he was way ahead of his time. But if Leonardo were alive today and realized how much his paintings would go for, you'd go crazy. It's a lot of money for a painting. You ask yourself if there's another possibility.
There are those who believe that the Salvator Mundi is much more than a priceless piece of Renaissance art. They believe, when considered in context with other examples of Da Vinci's paintings, that it contains a piece of a giant puzzle, one that, when put together, could reveal the secrets of the universe. April 15th, 1452. Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci, the illegitimate child of a nobleman and his maid, is born in Vinci, Italy.
If you were not entitled to take your father's name, your last name just became the town you came from. This probably aided his development. The fact that he didn't belong also meant that he wasn't caught up in the official version of reality. He was free enough to have his own ideas.
When he was a teenager, Leonardo settled in nearby Florence. At that time, the city was a cultural mecca, the beating heart of a classical revival known as the Renaissance.
The Renaissance is a resurgence of new ideas and approaches and interests in not only antiquity, but in the reinterpretation of the human condition. It reinvents, really, the culture of the time.
Leonardo received an informal education in the studio of the renowned Florentine painter Andrea del Verrocchio, but was also largely self-taught. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, he excelled at a staggering range of disciplines.
Da Vinci was way ahead of his time during the period in which he lived. He drew construction plans for tanks, for helicopters, all sorts of wild things that came into reality during our lifetime right now.
In March 2018, author and ancient astronaut theorist William Henry traveled to Florence to learn more about the Renaissance master. He was also eager to find out, firsthand, if there was any truth to the theory that Da Vinci had secret messages in his paintings. At the Piazzale Michelangelo, overlooking the city, Henry met with Dr. Michael Quantelstein, who has made it his life's work to discover everything there is to know about Leonardo da Vinci.
I'm so excited to be here in Florence.
a home of Leonardo. Yeah, you look around, you start to see that these are what you see in Leonardo's paintings. Absolutely, he took his inspiration just from those hills and those trees. 500 years ago, Florence was, of course, a much smaller city. Right. So, just crossing the Arno over there, you see the Ponte Vecchio, and Leonardo would find himself amidst nature to study the flow of water, or the movement of water, to study birds. Leonardo created just a prodigious volume of explosion, really, of creativity. What do we have left of his legacy? Do we have a lot? A little? Well, we have a dozen paintings. Some of these paintings are unfinished. Some of these paintings are in a bad state. But we have his notebooks, his manuscripts. It's like a method of lines, all these writings. You've personally been able to explore those notebooks and spend your life? I'm still working on it. It's a life work. While Leonardo's genius was highly regarded in his lifetime, he was also highly scrutinized by the Roman Catholic Church, which remained a powerful political force throughout Italy and much of the world. During the Renaissance, there was a big discovery of ancient classical doctrines that were stored in monasteries with the signature of the Roman Empire. Because of these new discoveries, new ideas were circulating, ideas that great minds like Plato, Aristotle, and the age of Rome. But these great ideas often did not combine well with Christianity. And Leonardo is someone who represents a point of conflict. It is this ancient knowledge that has led many scholars, ancient astronaut theorists to suggest that Da Vinci, while Christian, was also open to a wide range of spiritual philosophies. Philosophies which, if revealed, would have placed it in opposition to the strict teachings of the Catholic Church, and would have caused him to be publicly shunned as a heretic.
It's almost certain that Leonardo had access to secret knowledge. Leonardo was actually not, as a lot of people think today, some kind of atheist. Leonardo was a heretic. He passionately believed in something that was outside of the mainstream religion and therefore very dangerous.
Italy, 2002. Using infrared diagnostic techniques, Dr. Maurizio Sergini uncovers the underdrawing or preliminary sketch by Leonardo da Vinci for his unfinished painting, Adoration of the Magi. Commissioned in 1481, the work depicts the biblical story of the three wise men being the infant Jesus in Bethlehem. But by viewing the painting with this new technology, it becomes apparent that Leonardo's original sketch actually included many more details than those that could be seen with just the naked eye.
The first time I aimed the camera, the infrared camera to the adoration, I felt very privileged. Because for the first time in 500 years, I managed to see probably the best creativity effort of Leonardo on a work of art. And science can help you to go back like if you were in a time machine. And I saw dozens of figures, fighting horses, nature, architecture. And my eyes alone could not see them because they were covered by a brownish monochrome layer of paint that later I understood was not applied by Leonardo. In the background of the top left, you could see a couple of people sitting in despair on stairs of the temple in ruins. Well, aiming the camera at the scene, then suddenly a completely different view came out.
The detail that was painted over was a scene of a pagan temple that was rising up through the ruins of a Christian church. And this was considered problematic during the Renaissance period, with Christianity as the one and only true religion.
Upon close examination of Da Vinci's original sketch, instead of a temple in ruins, the artist seemed to be depicting a scenario in which an Egyptian temple is being rebuilt. Most most notable is the fact that one of the temple columns is capped by a lotus flower, which in ancient Egypt represented the so-called flower of life.
The flower of life is the information behind how the universe was created. Everything in the universe is geometric. Sacred geometry implies that there is intelligence behind it.
It's believed by mystics to be a symbol of advanced superconsciousness, a way of plugging into the knowledge possessed by extraterrestrial beings. Da Vinci, we can fairly say, was practically obsessed with it. And one wonders if Da Vinci actually tapped into the ultimate cosmic secrets represented by the flower of life.
Can't open it.
Cosmic secrets? Sacred geometry? Was Leonardo da Vinci encoding his paintings with forbidden knowledge? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and they believe that knowledge may have been given to him after direct contact with extraterrestrial beings. Recognized as a genius, even in his lifetime, Leonardo da Vinci was the most clearly recorded lives of all the Renaissance artists.
Da Vinci was such a popular figure that his life was documented in great detail. However, what's interesting is that there are 2 years missing from his existence. He basically disappeared off the face of the earth.
1476 to 1478, Leonardo da Vinci's activities completely disappeared from the historical record. The date of birth of the artist was between 24 to 26 years old, just at the point when he was beginning to come into prominence. So what could account for these missing years? Ancient astronaut theorists point to a strange experience the artist had while hiking near a cave. It is one of the very few autobiographical anecdotes that Da Vinci ever made in his personal journal.
He came across this cave, and as he stood in front of it, all of a sudden he felt drawn to go inside in order to find out about the miracle or the wonderment that's inside. We don't know what happened inside this cave, but it's quite possible that Leonardo da Vinci actually encountered extraterrestrial teachers who then gave him certain information. And it's this knowledge, perhaps, that made Leonardo da Vinci the incredible genius that he was. I'm not sure Leonardo da Vinci went to another world, but I have a feeling that this guy somehow, either dreaming or going through some kind of dimension, was able to see the future, our future.
Those we call geniuses, such as Leonardo da Vinci, are able to discern and detect these codes that are coming to them from these higher levels of reality, and utilize them in their work, in their art, in their inventions to improve this physical world that we live in. Unlike other artists, Leonardo da Vinci did not have to measure the ratios and the proportion. It just came to him spontaneously. He was tapping into something that allowed him to bring down knowledge and information, just like the ancient cultures did.
Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that further evidence of Leonardo's contact with extraterrestrial intelligence can be found by a close examination of one of his most intriguing paintings, The Virgin of the Rocks.
The Virgin of the Rocks is really a showpiece for some of Leonardo's special techniques, including sfumato, which adds this hazy aura. We see figures emerging from shadows into spotlighted in a way that other artists of his time didn't do.
In March 2018, author and researcher William Henry traveled to the outskirts of London. Here he met with Da Vinci expert Fkin in order to get her thoughts on this unique work of art.
I've just come from the National Gallery and experienced the Virgin of the Rocks. When you look at it, you're drawn into it. The colors, the setting, it's almost like it's just coming out of the wall and you're stepping into it.
Yeah, and also there's a sense of there's something working in it that we don't really get, that is holding back.
Oh, it's fine until you showed up.
The Virgin of the Rocks depicts a powerful story of an early meeting between the infant Jesus and the infant John the Baptist during the time of the Holy Family's flight to Egypt.
In this painting, apparently what we have is the baby John the Baptist kneeling to Jesus, and the Virgin Mary's got her arm around John the Baptist, and there's an archangel who is Uriel, and so far, so good you might think, except that the children are with their royal protectors. I mean, you would expect Jesus to be with his mother, and it so happens that Uriel is traditionally John the Baptist's protector.
Right. Uriel has a big backstory with informing Noah about the flood, Archangel of Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom is, that's important here.
Celestial being coming from the heavens.
In one of the so-called lost chapters of the Hebrew Bible, known as the Book of Enoch, the Archangel Uriel guides Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, through heaven, where he is taught all the secrets and mysteries of the universe. Is it possible that Da Vinci knew of this lost, and some would say, forbidden chapter of the Bible, and for this reason, deliberately included Uriel as a way of sending a secret message about what he believed to be the extraterrestrial source of his incredible genius?
And there is, as you say, something very Vulcan-like about this painting.
You just struck a very important word as well, the word portal. It's suggesting that this painting is a sort of portal that he's taking us into where something very special is happening here. Maybe that explains why it's such an otherworldly, almost dreamlike scene.
Yeah.
The veil between this world and the other world.
In his painting, The Virgin of the Rocks, did Leonardo da Vinci deliberately plant clues that were intended for future generations to find? Clues that gave insight into his belief that much of mankind's knowledge had profoundly extraterrestrial origins.
Leonardo was equally fascinated with backgrounds as he was with figures in the foreground. And one of the things that's so striking about Virgin of the Rocks is this very craggy, spooky, dramatic cavern that provides the backdrop for the figures. There are almost no other precedents for this group of figures in this sort of location.
Could it be that Leonardo deliberately staged this scene at the mouth of a cavern in order to draw a link between the painting and his earlier experience in the cave? And by placing Jesus with the Archangel Uriel, was he indicating a belief that the Archangel was actually an extraterrestrial entity?
Da Vinci's inclusion of the Archangel Uriel makes you wonder if Leonardo may have had an experience with the Archangel Uriel who told him about humanity's future.
Of the only 15 known paintings attributed to Leonardo da Vinci, is it possible that they all contain evidence of the artist's belief in so-called secret or forbidden knowledge? And if so, might they also contain clues that are intended to reveal not only Da Vinci's personal beliefs, but a message that he was entrusted to convey to future generations? Housed in the monastery of Santa Maria della Grazie is one of Leonardo da Vinci's most iconic paintings. This mural, more than 15 feet tall and nearly 29 feet wide, depicts the pivotal moment when Jesus tells us the story of the betrayal.
Magnets, which was a reacting to this statement. Really important.
to the left. Instead of Bartholomew, he's needs to leapt to his feet, hit the table with his knee aimed towards Jesus' shock. And third right, like Jesus moves Philip, who seems to cave in with shock. What's interesting about this Last Supper is it looks like a frozen moment of action. If you imagine you have a remote control from a scene on pause, and you were to unpause that was moving with it. But in this frozen moment, you can really study the actions and reactions of the people depicted.
As with Leonardo's other works, many researchers and ancient astronaut theorists believe that this painting contains hidden messages.
When we were writing Temple Revelation, I looked at the Last Supper and I thought, wait a minute, that's a woman sitting next to Jesus.
Sitting at the right hand of Jesus is a figure that has long been assumed to represent the Apostle John. But unlike the other figures in the painting, this one appears to have strikingly feminine features. In his own treatise on painting, Leonardo writes that women should always be depicted in art with their heads looking downwards and leaning a little on one side.
If you look at Jesus sitting at the center of the table, leaning like that to one side is the woman who, with Jesus, forms a giant M shape, presumably a clue to her name, Mary Magdalene.
In the Bible's New Testament, Mary Magdalene is identified as a follower of Jesus, who witnesses both his crucifixion and his resurrection. But she was not reported to have been a participant in what is called the Last Supper. If that is true, then why would Leonardo place her in his painting? Did the artist have access to secret knowledge about the true nature of the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene?
It seems that Leonardo was trying to point to Mary Magdalene having been extremely close to Jesus. We have them joined at the hip. We have them wearing mirror-image clothes.
Jesus, as a 30-year-old Jewish man of the time, would have been very hard-pressed to be without a wife. So the theory is that Mary Magdalene was in fact his wife, but the Catholic Church didn't want Jesus as the Son of God to have a wife. They wanted him to be celibate, to be godlike, and so cast Mary Magdalene as a prostitute rather than as a woman of importance.
If Leonardo did indeed intend to depict Mary Magdalene as the person sitting next to Jesus, what makes her inclusion even more curious is an element of the story that seems to have been deliberately omitted: Jesus' chalice, otherwise known as the Holy Grail.
In the Bible, it says that one of the reasons for the Last Supper was for Jesus to instigate the communion, his blood represented by the wine on the table, and his body, which was to be broken on the cross by the broken bread. Now, there is no great glass, or indeed any particular glass of wine in front of Jesus, which in itself is an enormous thing.
Had to swat a few bedlam flies.
According to legend, the Holy Grail had magical, life-giving properties. But there are some who insist that an actual Grail never really existed. Instead, they believe it was a symbol intended to represent Jesus' divine bloodline.
Many people suggest that the Holy Grail was the body of Mary Magdalene when she was pregnant with the child of herself and Jesus.
So this is goddess lore. The Grail is a womb, and the true mystery, the true sacred story is birth. Human birth is the miracle.
Mary Magdalene, according to a number of traditions, actually was the wife of Jesus, and she was pregnant with his children. And in fact, these children will be special and carry a special
new type of DNA for a new type of person on Earth. And this is literally the Holy Grail.
Leonardo da Vinci has special extraterrestrial knowledge about mankind's origins that he encoded in the form of secret messages within his paintings. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and also suggest that within his painting of the Last Supper is yet another, even more profound code, one that when translated will allow direct communication with our alien ancestors. Lecce, Italy, 2003. Based on a close examination of Leonardo da Vinci's workbooks, musician and scholar Giovanni Maria Palma begins to examine one of the artist's most famous works, The Last Supper, for evidence that da Vinci may have hit a musical composition in the now iconic painting.
One of the intriguing theories about Last Supper that I actually think has some merit is that a scholar found musical notes. One of the things to keep in mind is that there's no such thing as an accidental or just for the sake of an insertion in old master paintings. Each aspect was carefully decided upon.
Leonardo definitely was a musician, and he served the Medicis as a lyre player and as a singer for a number of years. He played what we would call the organ. Well, there was an organ in the church where he was painting The Last Supper.
In March 2018, William Henry met up with Giovanni Maria Palma in Florence to find out more about his incredible theory.
Hi, William, translator. Pleasure to meet you, William Henry. Nice to see you. Hi, Giovanni. Nice to meet you.
How did you come to find this evidence that in one of his most famous frescoes is a hidden melody?
La prima cosa che ho notato e che mi ha colpito è questa la tovaglia della sacramenza. So the first thing that really caught my attention was that this is the tablecloth of the Holy Mass. Right. And there are some vertical lines along here, and also some horizontal lines, which proved to be very important. And as a musician, the first thing that came to mind seeing these horizontal lines was a musical pentagram.
Is the musical pentagram what we today would call a sheet of music?
Yes, that's exactly right.
So how did you bring this melody to life?
In questo caso, come potete vedere, ci sono tanti pani disposti nella sacramenza. As you can see here, the highlighted is these little pieces of bread, of which there are many all across the table here. So he pinpointed the loaves of bread as being the notes. Un'altra cosa fondamentale che ho notato dopo è che le linee verticali della tovaglia. And another extremely important element that he noted was that the lines of the sheet were exactly aligned with the hands of the apostles all across the table. So the elements that really gave life to this music are the loaves of bread and the hands of the apostles. Okay. Dobbiamo ricordarci però che Leonardo scriveva da destra verso sinistra. We have to remember an important fact that Leonardo had this peculiarity of writing from right to left. So now let's give it a listen. Ogni nota ha una vibrazione particolare, perché a mio avviso Leonardo ha utilizzato questa notazione proprio per dare non soltanto risalto all'ultima scena che è del suo lavoro, ma anche per dare un qualcosa in più di misterioso, di profondo. Una vibrazione che proprio entra dentro l'uomo.
People have suggested that through meditation, chanting, and through vibration, essentially, that you can access this realm of knowledge. And this realm of knowledge is timeless.
Not only does the sound have the power to manifest all forms of phenomena, it also has the power to manifest how one perceives that very phenomenon. In both Hinduism and Buddhism, as well as Jainism, even religions such as
because you have specific mantras that are tuned to these deities. So these mantras are used both to create a rapport, connection with these deities, to summon them, to help you manifest them. The idea that harmonic sounds might be the ideal means of communication with extraterrestrial beings was identified by NASA's Voyager program in 1977. Originally designed as a harmonic nodes, which would collect and send important information about the Earth's sister planets, Voyager's 1 and 2 each carried a large gold disc, in which various images and sounds were recorded. This means contents were the brainchild and described concept of the cultivated space artist and science journalist John Humphrey.
I felt that art, visual arts and music might be as legitimate a content of interstellar communication as math and physics, which I thought interesting. If they were to ask me what to send to establish communication, I'd send them music. The mathematical relationships that underlie most aesthetics, and whether you're talking about intervals in music, like harmony, or whether you're talking about proportion in architecture or painting, these are not things that we could conjure up out of our own minds. The reflection of the beautiful fractal nature of the universe.
Did you ever see the movie called Council of Third Count? The spaceship lands at the Devil's Tower and it starts playing tones, the language of the universe, and it loops infinitely. It begins with E. And I can't do E as well. Puede ser totalmente infinito. It repeats it very much.
That's the money.
Leonardo da Vinci really did encode musical notes with his painting of the last summer. What was his past? Was he trying to convey a message to humanity from another world? Was he trying to teach humanity the means by which it can communicate with its extraterrestrial ancestors? The Louvre, Abu Dhabi. It is here, in what some would call an unlikely setting, that the world's most expensive work of art, Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, will reside. Established in November 2017, this architectural marvel consists of a floating dome created from a complex geometric design of 7,800 interlocking stars that cast beams of light into the space below. Its appearance has been likened to that of a giant flying saucer, and the museum's architect, Jean Lavelle, says its goal was to emphasize the fascination generated by rare encounters.
The museum looks like this giant disc with thousands of stars. Are they trying to signal something, or is it purely an architectural choice?
But why is this futuristic museum considered by many ancient astronaut enthusiasts to be the most appropriate setting for what others would consider a traditional depiction of Jesus Christ? And what is it about this 518-year-old Renaissance painting that compelled its owner to pay such a record price?
$400 million is the bid, and the base is sold.
We're going to see what we've got inside. During his meeting with art historian Dr. Michael Quantelstein at the Dutch University Institute for Art History in March 2017, ancient astronaut theorist and author William Henry decided to share his thoughts concerning Da Vinci's recently discovered masterpiece.
He's got that lion-like gaze, just very powerful, staring directly at us. Mona Lisa smiles slightly, but it's this crystal sphere that draws people in. This, in fact, is the Chintaman Eye Stone, the wish-fulfilling gem of Tibetan Buddhism.
The Chintaman Eye Stone, a legendary relic that appears in many examples of Buddhist art. But why would Leonardo da Vinci depict Jesus Christ holding a orb that features a Buddhist symbol?
And chimp in this case is referring to wishes as the dream of man's wishes. If you look at deities like Shiva, he actually is holding it in his hand and it looks like a little orb. And you can travel through all the six realms where various beings dwell.
In Bruce Richard, the Chichen Stone is often described as a wish-fulfilling crystal sphere and is most often seen in the possession of a bodhisattva or enlightened teacher. Much like Jesus holding the orb in this Salvador Mundi painting, the bodhisattva is usually depicted holding the Chichen Stone in the palm of his hand. But how would a 15th century Renaissance artist, a Roman Catholic, have known about a 10th century Buddhist symbol? And why would he have included it in an otherwise traditional religious painting? For William Henry, a key to the answer may be found by noting the presence of three simple white dots, or stars, floating inside the transparent orb.
We have those triple dots on that sphere that symbolize the three stars of Orion, indicating that there's this cosmic connection that they're trying to make.
Orion, the constellation that the ancient Egyptians believed was the place of origin for the heavens, produced three metropolitan stars, which formerly referred to as a Orient, or Orient into a sense of light. Not only the great pyramids of Egypt, but also Teotihuacan in Mexico.
The ancient Egyptians believed that their gods, Osiris in particular, came from Orion, and that upon his resurrection to the earth, Osiris returned to Orion. Is it possible? I don't think so. What this painting is showing is that Jesus himself is somehow from the constellation Orion, and that is ultimately where we, as a human species, we have this very powerful connection between the resurrection of Osiris going to Orion and Christ ultimately returning from Orion. Christ holding this crystal orb is trying to tell us that there's a higher intelligence that operates in our world. He tapped into it, but ultimately he's saying there's a cosmic intelligence interwoven within human history.
Is it possible that Leonardo da Vinci was in possession of extraterrestrial knowledge? Ancient astronaut theorists believe the answers can be
he has to say is quite another matter.
I think he had some very subtle messages he wanted to convey to not the people of that time, but to the people of our time. And we have to look for it. Is he talking about extraterrestrials? Is he talking about the future?
Investigators have recently found some pretty astonishing things about Leonardo da Vinci's painting, John the Baptist. And they mirror the image, create another image, and then through an enhancement process, they're able to bring out what seems to be the face of an extraterrestrial. It's a pretty unusual thing. We know that Da Vinci did use this mirroring technique. And so this isn't something that is so far-fetched that he would do. Da Vinci is one of a long line of artists who have told us, beginning with the ancient Egyptians and running to the early Christians, it's about that art is a medium, is a conduit that ordinary people can connect with higher dimensional beings, even extraterrestrials. I think this is the ultimate message that Leonardo placed in the codes and the symbols within his paintings. Did Leonardo da Vinci experience an extraterrestrial encounter? One that opened his mind to what was once considered forbidden knowledge. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and believe that Da Vinci encoded his works in such a way that future generations could learn the truth about mankind's origins. And that, when fully understood, will lead the way to our ultimate destiny. We don't know what protocols governments might have for how we interact with our extraterrestrial visitors.
2, 1, let it go! We've never found an official sanctioned document that says we're invaded by aliens, this is what we do. Doesn't mean that there isn't one. There we go.
I believe that these protocols are already established, and in fact, we are already in contact with extraterrestrials.
I'm sure Zeke can decrypt this for us.
Here is a genuine alien life form. The question I have is, what are we going to do?
October 19th, 2017, the Hawaiian island of Maui. Here, perched atop a 10,000-foot summit, stands the Haleakala Observatory. Astronomers using the Panoramic Survey Telescope and Rapid Response System, or PAN-STARRS, detect a mysterious object traveling at high speed through our solar system. The trajectory of this object is unlike any that has ever been seen before.
I was in charge of coordinating the observing to characterize the object. The object was discovered, and at that point there were images taken that showed an object moving rapidly with respect to the stars. The stars are individual dots of light, and this object was a streak, so we knew it was moving fast. At that point, we started to compute an orbit to try and understand what this object was. This was a really dramatic difference from what had been seen previously.
The object was found of a highly unusual hyperbolic orbit, suggesting that it was traveling at such a high rate of speed that it was not being pulled into a more circular orbit by the force of gravity.
Everything in the solar system is either in a circular or an elliptical orbit. And this was a particularly exciting observation because we had never seen anything like this come through the solar system.
The object, which was classified as an asteroid and named Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout or messenger, is the first object of its kind to be officially recognized as interstellar.
An asteroid was discovered coming into our solar system. Let that sink in. An asteroid was discovered coming into our solar system. From where, we don't know. It just came from outside our solar system, meaning it's from a different star system somewhere else. That's historic, that we've actually seen it. We now know objects can travel from one star system to another.
Researchers engaged in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, were intrigued not only by Oumuamua's origins, but also by its unusual shape.
It had a very funny shape. It's shaped like a cigar. You know, it's maybe 5 or 10 times as long as it is across. No asteroid that we know of looks like a cigar. Inevitably, there were people who said, well, are you sure it's a rock? Maybe there's somebody inside this thing. Maybe they've come to visit.
Now, if I were going to build a spaceship that's going to take hundreds of years or maybe thousands or millions of years to go from one star to another, I would start by finding a big asteroid that I like, that had all the minerals on it, and I would use that and just turn it into the ship I wanted.
Mainstream astronomers such as Avi Loeb, the chair of Harvard University's astronomy department, noted that the cigar shape of Oumuamua is the optimal design for a vessel to travel through space. This has led ancient astronaut theorists and even some astronomers to question if the so-called asteroid is actually an extraterrestrial vessel.
What I think is interesting is that Oumuamua is cigar-shaped because there are stories and eyewitness reports of cigar-shaped UFOs. So is it possible that there is some type of a connection?
Reports of strange cigar-shaped UFOs date back hundreds of years. This famous woodcut from 1561, for example, is based on a first-hand account by someone who claimed that a number of round and tubular objects could be seen battling in the sky over the town of Nuremberg, Germany. This first documented UFO photograph captured what looks like a long cylindrical craft hovering over Mount Washington, New Hampshire in 1870. And in modern times, sightings of cigar-shaped UFOs are commonly reported, as are those which are described as so-called flying saucers.
It is possible that an asteroid has been taken, hollowed out, made into a spaceship, and then put into a special orbit or trajectory. And what might be inside of Oumuamua is anyone's guess.
Discoveries like Oumuamua certainly have swayed the scientific community towards our ideas, because for the first time in my life have I heard an astronomer say that this object that is floating through our solar system right now may be an extraterrestrial craft. That doesn't come from me, it comes from an astronomer. Maybe Oumuamua was a false alarm, but maybe it was the real thing. However, it does inform us that we need a protocol. We need steps in place that will help us to determine what we are actually seeing and what the response should be. This was a tremendous wake-up call because it started to give us a sense of how would we respond if there were such an intrusion, if you will.
Does humanity have a plan for what to do in the event that a spacecraft carrying extraterrestrial beings comes to our planet? And so, what are the protocols? And who is responsible for implementing them?
The International Academy of Astronautics set up something called the Post-Detection Task Group, and I chaired that for some years. And it was just an informal collection of people whose job was to simply deliberate on if there should be some sort of putative signal or detection of alien technology, what next, what we do, who do we tell, how do we respond, what would the impact be on society.
In 1989, the International Academy of Astronautics, working with SETI, published the Declaration of Principles concerning activities following the detection of extraterrestrial intelligence. It stated that if proof of an alien presence is confirmed, the next consideration should be to decide which government or scientific entity should begin communication so that the situation does not quickly turn into an international free-for-all.
The SETI protocols, however, are only binding on the astronomical community. There are many more players in the equation. The SETI protocols may cover astronomers, but they don't cover governments, and they're not even legally binding.
Nobody can tell a radio astronomer or anybody else that they're not allowed to transmit. And even if the United States and other major nations decided that there should be some sort of moratorium on using radio telescopes for that purpose, starting to prevent North Korea, for example, from doing it. I think it's totally unpoliceable, which is why we have to think through rather carefully what the consequences would be in the event that there was this exciting discovery.
Considering the enormous global impact of any first communication or contact between someone from Earth and an intelligent being from another planet, wouldn't world governments already have their own protocols in place to handle such a situation? Protocols that would govern not just individual countries, but everyone in the world.
I spent the better part of about 4 years researching a book that myself and some colleagues were working on to create a protocol. If we were invaded by aliens, what would we do? And we searched everywhere we could, and we had several databases available to us, and we've never found an official sanctioned government document that says if we're invaded by aliens, this is what we do. Doesn't mean that there isn't one.
With my experience at the British Ministry of Defence, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a protocol for this. So I suspect that somewhere deep in the bowels of the Ministry of Defence and the Department of Defence, there is a plan. But I also suspect that it's highly classified.
Many of the world's top governments continue to deny the existence of any plans or protocols that would be used in an extraterrestrial encounter. Many ancient astronaut leaders believe that not only does such plans exist, but they've been in place for decades, and that contact between Earth governments and extraterrestrial visitors has been happening in secret for thousands of years.
I'm ready. How about you, BD?
December 2017. The New York Times publishes a bombshell story. It reveals the existence of a $22 million black budget program within the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Created to investigate whether unidentified flying objects pose a threat to national security. From 2007 until 2012, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program collected a compilation of videos that show inexplicable aerial phenomena, some of which have been released to the public.
One of these videos, at least, comes from the gun camera of an F-18. And you don't just jump out in your plane and fly out and chase something because you saw it go by. You were told to do so, and it took a lot of people to know what was going on.
All the complete findings of the program, otherwise known as ATIP, are still considered highly classified and may never be released. Its very existence provides proof that the United States military had protocols in place for how to investigate unidentified flying objects. But do the videos imply something else?
How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?
Evidence, not only that UFOs
You
exist,
think yourself a
but
survivor,
that the
but
government
you
has been
are a
studying them
failure.
and not shooting them down for a reason.
We simulate all sorts of scenarios in wargaming simulations. I've seen these simulations where they can teleport their soldiers from one place to another instantaneously, or they have shields that keep anything below extremely high caliber weapons from penetrating their armor. A lot of times this is called an engagement for 2075. Now think about that. We can prepare and plan for engagements against forces in the future. That's almost like preparing for a force that's just that much more advanced than us.
Is it possible that by gathering and then studying evidence of UFO activity, the U.S. military is developing protocols which will prepare future soldiers to face what could be extraterrestrial forces?
if not here on Earth.
Is that it?
We've got to have space capability. We've got to be able to run out into our vehicle, turn it on, fly up into space. Dynamic things, guns from very low space. We need to have bases on the moon and Mars and Europa and various other places in the solar system. So we don't have to wait on one standing place.
You're still chained by the past.
We're going to have some other time where we can have capability like powered armor. Seems like an Iron Man that improves your abilities instead of hinders. So we need some other thing on for that. The United States military has secret protocols for how to identify and combat extraterrestrial threats. But they also have protocols to run peaceful encounters. If so,
You're terrifying.
global strategy, one secretly shared with other nations around the world.
I know you're hurting.
Help me, BD. May 2014. In a suit dedicated to concepts of inclusion, the Francis Shanks' congregation was convinced that if alien life forms ever arrive on Earth, he would walk into the Catholic Church.
I could annihilate you.
Never notice. As the first one that a city pope acknowledges that extraterrestrial life exists, but that it could be intelligent and capable of interplanetary travel. The Pope's action is one more example of the broad shift in attitudes toward the possibility of participation. Religious authorities around the world
How pathetic.
are having to deal with the possibility, if not the already known reality, of existing extraterrestrial beings. One of the secretly unbelievable or recently evolved positions, faith-based organizations around the globe have recently embraced a more open and transparent view that intelligent life beyond Earth is possible. The Catholic Church's statements are aligned with the statements of the Dalai Lama, who has recently been talking about openness and oneness and the sameness of all the creatures in creation, that we shouldn't treat extraterrestrial beings as strangers, but rather as similar to us.
This would contain
us. It does not have to be conflict. It really allows
senseless.
As far as
Thou. I did what the order was too weak to do, and for that she betrayed me.
Thousands of years.
Here, buddy.
Religions, even are based on the idea that each other worldly beings exist. But that the purpose of the poor has been to provide everything from spiritual enlightenment.
Bear witness to true power.
In 1999, NASA published a study called The Societal Implications of Astrobiology. What the study was designed to do at its core was evaluate the impact of disclosure on religion. NASA views religion as an adaptive tool that can help people to answer questions that science can't answer. Because in their view, religion has been dealing with extraterrestrials for a long time. People have been told to have faith in otherworldly beings. All of the major religions have prophecies of the return of a Christ, a Messiah, a Savior figure. And very often these returns involve what appeared to be in the description some method of cosmic transportation. The Messiah comes as an army of angels. The angels from the biblical definition are certainly not given by any standards. They are by every standard of definition extraterrestrial.
There's immense power in such emotions.
Extraterrestrials being here and having been here for thousands of years will really change society. Eventually, everyone on planet Earth will realize that we are not alone. Is it possible that the religious concept of a Messiah who returns to Earth for the betterment of mankind was based on a message given to our ancestors by otherworldly beings?
You're lost.
Ancient
ancient astronaut theorists believe that the answer is a resounding yes. And that not only was such a visitation harmless, but that it is already occurring. March 2018. Author and researcher Andrew Hines travels to Sheffield, England to witness a remarkable demonstration.
Hi guys, Andrew, I presume, and Milton.
He is meeting with microbiologist Milton Wainwright and engineer Chris Rose, two members of the research team, who are convinced that life on Earth may have originated in space through a process known as panspermia, a theory that dates as far back as the 5th century BC.
Some kind of force hallucination.
According to the theory,
Fueled by fear.
microbial life is capable of traveling through the universe and may, on occasion, survive entry into Earth's atmosphere.
I understand you've made some incredible discoveries. Please tell me all about it.
In the early 2000s, my colleague Chandra Wickramasinghe, we were launching balloons for India. And these were sampling the air at 41 kilometers. And they show that organisms are continually arriving all the time. Panspermia is an extremely simple idea. Basically, it's the idea that life came from space. Instead of being formed on this planet, it came from space.
Maybe Dagan was right.
My findings relate to panspermia simply, and that they show that organisms are coming in at this very moment in space.
Tell me how you actually collect these samples.
Taylor's fortress.
Our balloon that's going to give us the points from the hydrogen gas here. Our capture mechanism is right here. Let me show you this. This exposes little metal stubs to the environment. And you're looking to see if you can get microbes coming from the upper atmosphere and not from the Earth itself.
That's right. All the critics say they're coming from Earth because we're surrounded by life. But we have lots of evidence that this material is not coming from Earth, it's incoming from space.
I mean, it sounds incredible. I mean, have you ever lost any of these? No, we're not about to start today, so fingers crossed, guys. Brilliant.
The team moves the balloon into launch position, from which it will ascend more than 37 kilometers, or 23 miles, into the air.
Okay, guys, ready? Andrew, on you. Countdown, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go.
Sure. Once the balloon reaches its target altitude within the Earth's stratosphere, the capture mechanism will hopefully collect samples of non-Earth-based microbial life. After the sampling is complete, the balloon bursts, and the capture mechanism descends back to Earth under the safety of a parachute. The team uses GPS tracking to locate where the mechanism lands. Once retrieved, the sample is quickly secured in a sealed container so that it does not become contaminated with microbes from Earth. Moments later, Andrew joins Milton and Chris at a nearby laboratory. Here, they will extract the microbes inside a sterilized clean room and then analyze them to ensure no Earth microbes have contaminated the sample.
A clean room. How can you ensure the sterilisation? What are the protocols behind this process?
It's really all about sterilising the air inside, to make sure the air inside contains no microorganisms. So all the air is filtered.
Milton and Chris remove the carbon tab from the capture mechanism and place them into vacuum-sealed containers. This will further prevent contamination while they view the samples with a scanning electron microscope.